Untitled Romantasy Project. Chapter 1, the first chapter, by Crandall. Lulia Hawkthorne crouched in the bushes as the sunset painted the sky in vibrant hues. Hearing sticks snap, she knew he was on the path to the glade. Their secret path, their hallowed glade. Her breath quickened as his steps neared. Then she saw him, Jompy Jamson, the tall, handsome man whose touch she dreamt of so often. A thrilling tingle rushed through her, knowing this time he would not reject her. Jompy entered the glade, looking confused. He took in the 100 whimsical jars with fireflies that hung from the trees and the white blanket adorned with flower petals in the center of the clearing. "Lulia?" he said. She emerged, melting his shock into a soft, desiring gaze. They held hands, and he kissed her on the cheek. "What is all this?" he asked. In answer, Lulia gracefully undid the ribbon of her blouse, and the silky fabric slid down past her chest, exposing her breasts. She quivered with anticipation. "Don't, Lulia," he said, and turned his head away. "Your letter said you wanted to see me about something important." "This is important," Lulia said. She touched his chin, turning his head toward her. "We are important." Jompy took her hand off his chin and clumsily tried to place the blouse back onto her shoulders. "This isn't right. I don't want to do this," Jompy said, blushing and stepping away as her blouse slipped back down to her waist. Lulia was suddenly enraged. "You lied to me, Jompy." "I did not." Lulia sighed and retied her blouse, feeling stupid for exposing herself. "You did lie. When we were falling in love, you said you didn't want to have sex to make sure that our relationship wasn't just a physical one. I understood and respected that. But Jompy, we're engaged to be married. We're deeply in love. Why not now?" "You're obsessed with sex," Jompy said. "I'm obsessed with you," Lulia yelled. "It's not just sex. You hardly even kiss me. It hurts me to feel so far away from you." Jompy put a comforting hand on Lulia's shoulder. "We'll have sex when we're married. For children. I never would have agreed to marry you if I knew you were not going to fulfill my desires." "You're obsessed with desire." "Is a starving person obsessed with food?" Lulia said boldly. Jompy was silent for a moment, then said, "Don't you love me?" "Jompy, I love you so much, but you're being cruel. This isn't the life I want. Only having sex to make children." "That's what sex is for." "No, Jompy. Not to me." Jompy quickly left the glade, looking embarrassed and angry. Flower petals exploded out in all directions as Lulia snatched the blanket off the ground. She wrapped it around herself and fell to her knees. She screamed, letting out all her frustration and heartbreak. The fireflies flew wildly in their jars, smashing their tiny bodies against the sides over and over until the jars started to crack, then to break. The bugs swarmed around Lulia. She threw her arms open and her head back and watched as the 100 scintillating bugs flew high above her, grouped, and then, as her first tears fell, dispersed like an explosion of shooting stars into the night. When Lulia entered her house, it was dark. She was dirty and exhausted from crying on the forest floor. She crept up the stairs and into her room, flopping on the bed. So this was her life. Sex only a few times a year, it was impossible. She truly loved Jompy, but to demand both fidelity and celibacy was never going to work. She could hurt him now by running away, or hurt him later by giving herself to the first person to tell her she was pretty and give her a kiss. And there could be children by then. Heartbroken, she packed her things up into a bindle. Lulia took off her engagement ring and placed it on a short note. It would never work. She snuck out of her parents' house, headed to the main road, and walked all night to get to the big city. As dawn broke, she felt a glimmer of hope in the bustling town. Wondering about her place in this new world, she pondered job opportunities in the many taverns. Just then, a small, dirty-faced girl touched her elbow. "Please, miss," she said squeakily. Can you spare a few coins? I'm ever so hungry. "Oh," said Lulia, touched. "I have a sandwich in my bindle." The little girl nodded. Lulia took her bindle off her shoulder, and suddenly a group of children rushed her and snatched it out of her hands. The little girl joined them as they ran off with her things. She could not stop them. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe she should just go back home and marry Joppy. Maybe Joppy was right. Maybe she was obsessed with sex. Maybe she needed to learn to ignore the gnawing emptiness and loneliness that a life of little to no sex made her feel. What were feelings anyway? Was this better than a warm bed with love but no passion? Suddenly, music captured her attention. Following the sweet sound, Lulia found herself in a tavern called the Ladder and Mud. With a few coins left hidden on her, she ordered a scotch and turned to watch the performer on stage. It was a very handsome man, and he played the instrument so well. "Who's that?" she asked the bearded bartender. "Canon Doddenstray," he answered unenthusiastically. "He's wonderful." Lulia was transfixed. His instrument playing was entrancing, intoxicating, and when he began to sing, she swooned. He sang about how hard it was to make it in the city, but how he was doing so well now because he didn't give up. Lulia, in her trance-like state, understood the message to be for her. "Bartender," she said, "are you hiring?" Hello, bonjour. I'm Crandall. Welcome to the podcast that answers the question, if an infinite number of monkeys will write Shakespeare, what can a few dozen monkeys do? This is an interactive podcast, the ultimate writing prompt, because together we're going to write a whole story of 10 chapters. And this season, our genre is romantasy, and this time we'll talk about writing chapter 2. Don't worry if you have no ideas. There is a brainstorm incoming. So, you guys made me write the first chapter. I think it went okay. And if you disagree and say, "No, Crandall, that was a bad chapter and you wrote it badly," then, hey, just know that that's kind of what this podcast is about. Because for so many things in any artistic field, you have to try so hard and, really refine everything and make sure it's absolutely the best that you can do to try to earn your place on the wall or in a magazine. And, sometimes it's fun to just write with fewer constraints and stress. So, I invite you to join us. But of course, we aren't on this journey alone, because I don't know what romantasy is all about, so I found a guru. The guru this season is Georgia Summers, apparently a romantasy writer, and here's her guru tip for this episode. A trope is a common, recurring element in stories, and romantasy is full of them. These can be a great way to explore your character's relationship and to bring tension into the narrative. Some romantasy tropes include just one bed. Your characters have to spend the night somewhere, only to discover that there's just one bed available. Marriage of convenience. Your characters get married for a reason that isn't love, whether it's to secure a political alliance or something else. Forbidden love. Your characters might be forbidden from pursuing a relationship with each other, but that's not going to stop them falling in love. Perilous proposal. One of your characters declare their love during a particularly dicey situation. Forced proximity. Due to external circumstances, your characters are forced to spend time together in close quarters. Thank you, Georgia Summers, for that advice. And, we're not just going to go on the advice. We also have a beat sheet to follow. Each chapter is 1.5 beats. I wrote the beats this time, so I did, meld romance beats and fantasy beats into this 15-beat beat sheet, which is linked everywhere. I did the best I could. Oh, what's that? Is that? I think that's a brainstorm. And that means it's time for us to go through the secret bookcase passageway into the Spooky Room Productions Lounge. And hopefully someone will be there to brainstorm with us as we figure out what Chapter 2 is going to be about, potentially. All right, here I am in the Spooky Room Productions Lounge, and I can see through the mirror that is placed in a certain way that is Ripley in the chair. Hello.
Hello.
How's things going?
It's good.
Good. Unfortunately, I had to write the first chapter. I don't know how to write romance. I don't know how to write, especially fantasy, but I don't know. So, the question I have first of all is that after Lulia, which is such a great name, had her temper tantrum and the fireflies smashed out of the glasses, I was trying to make that as like she had a magical power or something. What did that come across?
No, but I see it after you say it.
Oh shit. Well, I don't know how to write fantasy. I don't know magic. Because I was like, I don't know. And then it's like, what does that even mean? Like, does she have powers over bugs or flying creatures or nature? Or
Well, the important thing is that you have something you could point to later and say, okay, well, that was the thing. You're like, oh, okay, I see. All right.
Yeah, because it's a little weird.
So I thought they just broke because they fell down for some reason.
Oh, no, I see. So the bugs were buzzing about, and then the things fell down.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I should have been more clear. Speaking of, it was really hard to do with the 1,000 words, but I got there. I had to cut a lot and blah blah blah, but I got there. I did put boobs in like the 4th or 5th paragraph because I figured if this is a romance, people are gonna want it to be a little racy, and I didn't, describe them or anything because, well, number one, there's not enough word count to use up, but also, it's just a little taste, a little teaser, a little, hey, guess what? This is going to be a story that has some boobs in it, I guess. But we're here to move forward, and hopefully someone else will write this. We have to get through the second half of Nobody's Perfect, and we have to do the whole beat of Meet the Mentor / Adhesion. So, the second half of Nobody's Perfect is the first meeting between the main characters should be memorable, and at least one of them should explain internally or externally why they will not fall in love with the other. And Meet the Mentor and Adhesion, main character 1's first encounter with a mentor or teacher, mystical or not. Main character 1 gets needed advice, giving the audience an idea of the obstacles and dangers ahead. Something happens to keep main character 1 and main character 2 close to each other for the duration of the story. Reiterate here why this relationship will not work. So there you go. But I think that because Lulia was kind of really focused on the importance of sex over love, in a way, is kind of what she was saying. But I don't know. But I was thinking we could use that and flip it around and show her the consequences of having sex without love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, and I was like, well, maybe she could pick someone up at the bar and have like a one-night stand and then be like completely unhappy with it, even though she got the sex she thinks she wanted without love. Like she is in love with Jobby, which is another great name. So maybe she'd be like unhappy about, like, she'll have like a fling, just some casual one night thing, but she'll be devastated because really she loves Jobby still, because she did love him. They were engaged to be married. she just freaked out. I think she was just super horny and freaked out and acted ridiculously. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, maybe she could have sex with the bartender. But then it's like, since we have to meet the mentor, maybe the bartender will be the mentor.
Oh, not the person on stage. What's
No,
their name?
No, I think the mentor has to be different from the love interest.
Who's the person on the stage, or the love interest?
Yes, canon something. I forget what I said.
Oofendoogletoo?
Something really bad. Doddenstry. Canon Doddenstry.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know. But then I guess after she has this one night stand with the bartender, I guess she'll get the job.
Isn't she supposed to be enamored with Doddenstry?
Yes, but she just thinks he's wonderful and beautiful and is talented. And just because it's a romance, does that mean she's only allowed to have sex with her main, person that she's gonna eventually be with?
I guess not.
Fuck that. I don't know. If she it doesn't have to be with the bartender. I just think that.
Well, she doesn't have a lot of money, so the bartender can hook her up.
Well, that's the thing. She asked if he's hiring, and I'm not saying that he should hire her only on her fucking him, but maybe he does hire her, but then she just stays there at the bar, and he, hooks her up with a few drinks, and he's like, oh, you're so pretty, and blah, 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 and then she's like,
did you ask him if he was hiring?
Yeah, that's how it ended.
Oh.
Because, and I figured that would indicate that she was deciding to stay in the city. Where she was like, oh, I should go home. Fuck this, I'm an idiot. And those children robbed me. I don't know.
Those kids got to get some comeuppance.
I don't know, man. I think street kid gangs, little child gangs should get off scot-free. They're going through a lot.
No, they should get their comeuppance later.
It's possible. And you know what?
Well, in my chapter, I can do that.
That's the thing. And if no one else writes it, then Ripley's going to have to write it. So.
Yeah, 10 chapters from now, those kids are going to get it.
Like,
F those kids.
We'll see. Maybe it'll come back. Everyone, keep that in your back pocket of your mind. Okay, so I'm not hearing any pushback from my fucking the bartender idea, so
no,
I'll run
fine.
with that. Okay, so Lulia gets the job. The bartender gives her a few drinks. They chat. He's flirting with her. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go for it. He fucks her in the back on some, casks of beer or something.
Well, doesn't she actually need to meet the other guy first?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have to. I don't know. She could, but I think this would be more interesting.
Yeah.
Because then, if after her one night stand with the bartender.
But if she meets him and then she goes off with the bartender, that'll be a clear way for him to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to fall in love with her.
Well, she's
already gone off with that guy. So, oh, okay.
Yeah, but she's technically still engaged as well, so that could also be.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
That's true, especially when she took off her ring.
Because you need a reason for her to internally or externally say why he will not fall in love with the other.
Yes, absolutely. But I was thinking after the one night stand, she wakes up or whatever, or leaves the encounter, and she's still wants Joppy, and she's unhappy, and she's like, I came, but who cares? Like, that sucked, and maybe casual sex is also not for me. And then she meets the guy, maybe. But if you'd rather him meet her first, which is technically, I guess, how we have to do it. So, okay.
I mean, it's shorter with less scenes.
That's okay. So she.
But she doesn't have to.
No.
She could always meet him when she's coming out of the bartender's room late at night.
Yeah.
He's all like packing up his stuff. He's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sup?
When I was reading this back after I read it, I'd done editing it and stuff, and I was like, why is the bar open at dawn, and why is there live music playing?
Oh, this is at dawn?
Well, when she walked into town, it says as dawn broke.
That's true, yeah.
She walked into town, and then she went right. She was robbed by those children, and then I guess it does say that she pondered job opportunities. Maybe that took a long time before she was robbed by the children. Anyway, so we open up the next chapter with her meeting.
I mean, if it's just an inn and stuff with rooms, so they could definitely be open at dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
Anything's possible in the big city. So, are we going with she fucks the bartender and then, or it could just be a guy, because maybe fucking your boss is too messy.
Yeah,
Right.
it's supposed to be messy. It's a romance.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
you need drama and,
okay.
and intrigue.
All right. So we'll go with she gets the job.
Plus, she's in the big city. She doesn't really know anybody.
Yes.
You know.
She fucks the bartender, and then when she is sneaking out doing the walk of shame, she runs into Cannon.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And then he's judging her.
Or at least saying that, you know.
Like, oh, I get it. Like, you're that kind of girl, and you're with Beardo.
Yeah, you're with that guy. So that's just, that's all right. Fine. It's cool.
Okay, you're right. It doesn't have to be judgy. But she's unhappy. She wishes she could be with Jobby still because she loves him. All right, so that gets a lot of it. And it says the meeting between the main characters should be memorable. I guess that's kind of memorable. Maybe she'll fall down the stairs or something. I don't know.
Oh, a meet cute where they bump heads.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Classic meet cute.
Yes, give them, this is their
You
meet
drop all
cute.
his music on the ground. Oh, my sheet music. She helps him pick it up. That kind of standard stuff.
Excellent. That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is the bartender the mentor or teacher, mystical or not? To get
well,
advice?
he's going to have to be. Because we don't want to introduce more people, right?
Yes. Okay, so maybe when she's hanging around the bar and he's buying her a few drinks, that's when he talks to her about
bartenders are mentors anyway.
living this.
They're always handing out advice.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So, and he'll give her advice, giving the audience an idea of the obstacles and dangers ahead. So I guess
What are the obstacles and dangers ahead?
I don't know. Just shit.
That this town is not all it seems to be. The big city is not a great place.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that kind of stuff. You only have 1,000 words to do all of this, so good luck.
Yeah. Just be mysterious about that something bad is happening in the city.
Just keep pushing it down the line.
Maybe there's an invasion. Maybe there's a criminal syndicate. Who knows?
Like, I did not, when I described...
Those kids could work for the criminal syndicate.
Oh, my God, it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. And those kids are going to get it.
When I described Cannon, I just said... he was a handsome man, and he played the instrument so well. Because I didn't want to choose an instrument, nor describe what he looked like. Plus, I didn't have the fucking word count.
Plus, you could say instrument.
Exactly. So,
that's erotic.
I see. I didn't realize I was, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also the fact that she's, so entranced by his playing is maybe hinting at maybe his magical power.
It's the harp, by the way.
Sure. That's the thing. Anyone
one of those great big harps. Not even like a lute, like a little lyre or something. No, it's a full stand-up harp. Because it'll be difficult to carry.
That's hilarious. Okay, so she's at the bar. She gets the job. The bartender gives her some mentoring. She fucks him. When she gets out, she bumps heads with whatnot. They meet. But then something happens to keep the main characters close to each other for the duration of the story. We have to reiterate here why this relationship
which is easy. She's going to be working at the bar, so already done.
I see. Well, that works. It's already done.
Done.
And the reason why the relationship will not work would be she is technically still engaged. She left a note, but I don't know if and plus she is technically still in love with Joppy. But also he thinks that she is with Beardo, the bartender man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's
which he is out of convenience, but
exactly. He's like, yeah, bartenders, they bring home people. You know what I mean? Like we have a thing.
Oh, they do.
Where I know if I bring, and so do musicians. So maybe Cannon and Beardo, they have a thing where it's like, obviously if I bring home a chick, you can't fuck her, and if you bring home a chick, I won't fuck her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they live.
And then they totally do.
Because they live together as roommates above the tavern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds reasonable.
Can there also be a surly old man that lives at the tavern?
Absolutely, just a drunk guy who's always there.
He does cleaning and cooking.
Oh yeah.
He's a janitor who also cooks.
He's like a back of the house guy.
Yeah.
But he's like an old crusty dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure, he could even be the mentor if you want.
No, he's pure comedy.
Okay.
And, you know, that little, like, you know, point out the little things that we want to make sure that everyone sees. We're like, oh, the old man could point it out.
That's
yes.
true.
Yeah, he's important.
I mean, that was pretty quick, but I feel like we have actually gotten all the points in.
What?
I mean, you've got the book. What does it say? I mean, have we?
We did get all the points, yeah.
Eh?
Halfway through one and then all the way through the other. Well,
Yeah.
that was fairly simple.
Yeah. I mean, we had to juggle it up a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it's still romantasy, though, so are we going to establish any of our fantasy tropes in this section?
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, you know that this is a fantasy world, so
No.
is there anything you want to include in here that will...
That I cannot
make that?
speak on. The whole magic thing, the fantasy part is really fucking me up. Like, I don't know what the tropes are. I don't know.
Yeah.
What people want. I don't know
we
what's...
decided on a fairly low fantasy thing, so maybe that could just be included in his mysterious, warnings about what's going on.
Okay.
So work that in.
Yeah.
Work that in there. That's what you get. You get
And
that.
I've heard that that romantasy people who like romantasy are very adamant about the fact that the fantasy aspect has to be interlaced with the romance. Like, you can't just be like, oh, here's some magical people who are in love, or here's some people who are in love and there happens to be magic. They're like things, the romance and the fantasy part have to, so for somehow, and we'll kick this one down the road, but somehow their magic powers have to become part of the romance. Or something. I don't know, dude. And you know, like I said last time, man, if you
a little something could happen while she's doing the bartender. You know.
Oh, like a magical, she could be fucking the bartender and then something magical
Fireflies
happen.
appear or something.
And the thing I'm always thinking about when if you write any kind of romantic or sexual scene is like, when do you close the door? When do you walk away and let them continue their activities unobserved? So, you know, I don't know. Again,
that's up to the writer.
And the thing is, with the really strict word count, it's pretty easy to just cut it and everyone knows.
Yeah, you can't get too flowery.
Unfortunately, it'd be pretty funny to be able to do that, but that's not what we're doing here.
Also, I think there's one more thing we have to cover before we wrap it up.
Okay.
That original situation she was setting up.
Yes.
Was it or was it not Swindy?
Oh, okay.
Obviously, there's a lot of things going on.
We have to sing the song.
Yeah, well, here it goes.
S-W-I-N-D.
I see.
There you love or just home. What?
I thought you were just going to drop the music in there.
I don't even know if I have that.
I'll send it to you.
S-W-I-N-D. Are they in love or just horny? Swim.
Because as soon as Fireflies came up, it was like, oh,
okay,
Swindy.
so Swin is if you get 3 out of the 5 things, it is a romantic situation. S is spontaneous or surprise. This was a surprise for Joppy.
This was a surprise for Joppy. He did not know that was going to be
happening. He did not. Oh my God, he would not have showed up if he knew. And then we have
weird
W,
lighting.
which is weird lighting.
Definitely.
So we have the weird fireflies. Which I assume she just asked to get into the jar. She didn't have to catch them because she has some kind of magic with
bug
bugs
magic.
or something. Anyway, and all of a sudden I just thought, when she's fucking the bartender, she has control over the bed bugs and the roaches that are in his room.
Wow.
Let's not do that.
Are they going to dance?
I don't know. I am glad I don't have to write that one.
So what's I?
All right, I is isolation, which they were alone.
Yes.
So that's already 3. But let's see if we can get all 5.
See, that's the only one we both agree on is isolation.
Oh, it's true. N is nature, obviously. They were
there.
in the glade. And D is dancing, or at least music. There was not that.
Yeah,
so we got a 4 out of 5. It is an official romantic situation that Lulia set up for Joppy.
She had set up a perfectly swindled
situation. It did not
situation.
work. And that's the problem. You know, you can have a great she swindled him, and he rejected her.
He refused to be swindled.
He did. And you know what? Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. And I think she was kind of unreasonable a little bit about just taking the fuck off. It's like, man, like, how horny are you? Calm down. Anyway.
Any housekeeping?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if there's anything you want to plug or where people can find you, etc.
Well, the Concordia game is now out. The starter set is complete and released, and it's up to 58 downloads.
What?
So not bad in less than a week.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I don't think 58 people listened to my whole first season of this podcast.
Well,
so
we'll see.
Good for you.
People are going to be here for this one, though. This
Yeah.
is going to be awkward and
oh my God, yeah.
cringy.
Just think of it. Yeah.
Everyone will want to watch us be very embarrassed about this.
Very embarrassed. I'm going to have to read some nasty shit. I don't want to, but it's romantasy, so I'm going to do it in the name of art.
And you got to draw pictures of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can, you can always draw the picture of the room they're in or whatever.
It's illustrated.
All right. Is there anything else you want to plug?
Well, you should go to the spookyroomproductions.com website. And there you can find all the cool stuff. Concordia. We now have a Patreon for this podcast. It's at patreon.com under Ripley Stonebrook.
Yeah.
But it's Patreon for that, the Concordia game, and a lot of other things. So check it out.
You'll have a good time.
Have a good time.
All right. Well, I guess the only thing left to do is for you to give a rousing speech as to why people should write this 1,000 words and not let you do it.
It's going to be the same speech as always, so
Go
we
ahead.
don't have to do it. We just want to read your stuff and discuss it and have brainstorms of what the next thing will be. That's our key.
It is really way more exciting
because
for us.
I have other game books to write. I have so many things to do. It's endless.
Yeah.
We have a lot to do. But, we'll do it if we have to. Because we love it.
But isn't it more fun for you and for us if you just write in?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
the
hilarious.
podcast you get involved with.
Yeah, you can use a pseudonym. We don't need to know your real name. It's fine. Like, it can be as polished or as sloppy as you want.
Oh, I hope Pa's out there this year.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess that's it. I'm going to go back to the Spooky Room Productions recording studio. Wait, what do I usually call it? Studio?
Spooky Room Lounge.
No, this is the lounge.
Oh, we're in the lounge.
Yeah.
We're going to the...
studio, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, bye!
Bye.
Wow, what an amazing brainstorm. I'm sure you're all raring to go and ready to write and full of ideas. But before we do that, we have to get to the rules and regulations. 15 seconds worth of rules and regulations. So if you want to submit, there's a link everywhere that will bring you to the rules and regulations and the submit form. I thought I'd give you an idea of what the rules and regulations are on the podcast. It's what you would expect in general, but last season I tried to do 15 seconds per rule, and I thought, that's a little long. So now I'm going to try to do 15 seconds for all 9 rules. I've lost my timer again. People are, I don't know, but I found a timer that I can use. So let's begin the 15-second R&R. Every podcast, there's one chapter with the 1,000-word limit. Any form is fine. You have to keep things R, no sex underage or animals. I'm not going to edit anything. Research is optional. There's a tombola random draw of qualified entries. Oh, fuck. Shut up. All right. Well, I think that's about where I got last time. I got to speak faster. Well, I guess I should let you know you have to go to spookyroomproductions.com. Like I said, it's linked everywhere. There's 1,000-word limit. I already said that. You can use your name or a pen name. You can put a 100-word self-promo or disclaimer or whatever you want me to read after I say your name. You can even submit what you think the overall story should be called. You can submit one illustration per submission period, whatever you want, any picture that you want. You can also not use your real name on that as well. Also, you should know, and this is important to me personally because I hate that I have to sign up for everything. There's no sign up. There's no reading fee. I don't want your email. You don't have to give me any information about you anyway. All I want is your chapter submission. Also, there is no payment ever in any way except for just being on the podcast and feeling really good about yourself and having a good time. Because like I said earlier, like being an artist of any kind is really stressful. and difficult, and let's just have a good time, right? So before I tell you about the dates of submission closing and podcast drops and all that, let's get one last little boost of inspiration with our author quote. And this episode's author quote is a fantasy writing quote because I could not find romantasy quotes specifically. So here we go. Francisco Goya says, "Fantasy, abandoned by reason, produces impossible monsters. United with it, she is the mother of the arts and the origin of marvels." Thank you, Mr. Goya, for your inspirational quote. I think that is exactly what we all needed to hear. So submissions close on May 21st, 2025. The next podcast will drop, maybe with your chapter, on June 1st, 2025. Everything is linked everywhere. If you want to go freestyle, you can go directly to spookyroomproductions.com. There's a lot of stuff on there. You can check me out on YouTube at Crandall Monk for the illustrated podcast and various other things that I post there. So it's time to start writing and illustrating. But remember, it's better to finish something than to give up on everything. You know what I mean. Let's go.